Hello everyone, I'm at the McDougall Recreational Center in McDougall, Ontario. It's actually Noble, Ontario, but very close to McDougall, just a little bit west. So I'm just going to record a video of the camper here today, the first one, V1.0 I guess you could call it. So this is what it looks like with the door open, lots of light in here. It's pretty nice, quite roomy. Hard to get a good idea of how big it is with the phone here, but kind of limited on our range of view. So anyway, I'm going to shut this. The sun is quite warm today. So we'll start at the front here, or I guess the back of the truck, depending on how you look at it. This is where I keep all my hats and sweaters and just things I can hang, pretty much. Moving over to the, I guess if we're looking at the back as the front, this would be the left. So looking at the left side, I've got all my dry, unrefrigerated foods. I've got cereal, peanut butter, goldfish, a bunch of stuff, coffee, just tomato paste right there. Then up top I have my breads, buns, and all that kind of stuff, soft stuff, so it doesn't get squished down here. Couldn't quite fit it all, so I put my hamburger buns there. Excuse me. Down below that, I have my mini fridge. It's a MasterChef 3.3 cubic foot mini fridge. Works pretty well. It does run off an inverter, 1200 watt inverter. It only uses about 600 watts hours a day, so it's about 3 amps an hour, 2.7 to 3 amps an hour roughly. I got it pretty stocked up. It's got the small freezer compartment, works good. I freeze these in there, no problem. I don't think you could freeze ice cream. I don't think it's quite that cold, but it works pretty good. It's not like the Domestics, but it's a lot cheaper. It's about $900 to $1,000 cheaper if you're buying the base model, and I mean, you're talking almost $2,000 cheaper if you're talking about the one that would be the same size as this. So now moving on over here, we got our window here for looking out and seeing our views. Pretty good views here actually for being in a little recreational center. And down here I have my desk with my laptop, my monitor, my Xbox. There's my Jambox speaker, which is connected to the monitor, so when I'm playing on the Xbox the sound will come through there versus the monitor. It just sounds a lot better. And here I have my laptop. It's an Asus ROG from 2014 I believe. Pretty good laptop. Basically what I do is I just slide it on over here, open it up, and then I can connect it to my monitor if I want to game. I also have a keyboard under here, right over there, hard to see, but I hook that up to here if I'm gaming, and I got my mouse and stuff up there, my Xbox controller, a few notepads, some paperwork there, some electrical stuff. I've been working on wiring up my Xbox to DC so I don't have to use the inverter, so I'm working on that right now. Alright, so working our way back around here, we're just going to kind of go in a loop. So this is kind of my sitting area. Just a bench made out of deck boards. And if you look under, not the greatest lighting, but this is where I got a broom, dirty clothes, and just random things in that basket in my bag for when I go out and hike and stuff. And then behind that is the plumbing, so back there is 40 liters of water capacity, and then back behind this panel are the batteries, and behind that is another 20 liters. So total there's 60 liters of water capacity. It is filled with hose water, so I don't normally drink it just because it tastes pretty disgusting, but if it does come down to it, I will. So primarily that's just for taking showers and washing dishes and stuff. Now coming up to the upper part of the camper, so this would be above the above the cab of the truck. This is my bed area. Pretty large area, I got my clothes up there, a little bit of storage here. And that shelf up there, hard to see, but there's a light up there I can turn on and see what I'm doing up here at night. These curtains I made out of rags, actually, Canadian Tire rags, and then I just used these little pieces of wood, drilled some holes, and then ran this metal bar. And I can just slide this for when I'm sleeping, closed. And this is a sliding window as well. Oh, a little tricky to film up here. So yeah, this is a sliding window, so, and they lock too, which is convenient. So if I'm traveling, I slide this shut and I lock it. Or if I want air coming in, I slide it open, lock it. This top tab's supposed to lock up here, but it always just falls down, so I just leave it. Doesn't seem to affect anything. So that's the other window on the other side of the upper part here. So 2 on each section, 2 here and 2 down below. So we'll go back down now. Usually it's not this difficult, but when you're holding your phone, it can be. All right. So here, this is a speaker actually. It's a 12-volt speaker, came off my ATV, and I just have it wired up directly to the battery. Smoke detector, carbon monoxide, fire extinguisher, so I got all the safety points covered, I think. Got a mirror here. And this is electrical, so this is for the inverter. This runs to the fridge. And you'll see there's a black cable there as well. That's actually an HDMI cable, so that when I set the Xbox up over here, it'll be connected to the DC there, and the HDMI will just run over there, down, over to the monitor. The monitor, right there, yeah. Alright, so now let's look in the electrical box here. Actually, before we do that, let me show you the front. So I have a Coleman 30 amp 12 volt digital solar charge controller. It works pretty good. I tried to get the Renogy one, but they seem to be completely out of stock here in Canada, so I just went with Coleman, as they had what I needed when I needed it. Above that, I have my light switch for turning on all my 12 volt stuff, so that just flips those guys on, turns the speaker on, all that stuff. This is for the pump. So if I open this up, I got my sink here. Turn this guy on. Pump's running. Got water. Pretty simple. Now it is a 120 volt pump. I tried to find a 12 volt. I had a little bit of a hard time finding one locally, so I just went with the 120 volt. Got that at Canadian Tire. I believe it's a Mastercraft pump. Didn't have the greatest reviews, but I haven't had any issues with it so far. So right in here is my electrical. I'm not going to get too into detail on this, just as there is a lot of stuff to go over, so I might do that in another video. But just give everyone an overview here. It's a little fuse panel. Those are for the switches that were on the front there. So you see, yep, they're there. The solar charge controller. And then that's where the wires for the solar go outside. Yeah. Now, as we move along to the right side, we have the counter. Little magnet holder on the side here. This is a remote for these lights up here, which I have to fix. That one's not in. That one, the glue melted right off because they get so freaking hot. So I think I'm going to actually get rid of these. This might be a bit of a fire hazard if they're doing that. So, anyway, back to over here. I got a little DC fan. I don't think I mentioned that, but yeah, that is a DC fan. It just runs off USBs. Now, these USBs, I'm sure a lot of people are going to wonder how the hell I did this. Basically, this is a 12 volt to 5 volt adapter for your car, and I basically just disassembled it and soldered on 2 wires to the leads for the normal thing that you'd plug into your lighter adapter, and I just ran it to my battery. So, well, to the fuse box, then to the battery. So that's basically how those work. I'll probably go over them in more detail in another video. Here's my homemade curtains again. These lights are a little different. They're cob lights. So pretty bright LED. These don't get nearly as hot as those other ones. I'm not sure why those get so hot, but it's just bad design or something. Yeah, these work good. Give adequate amount of light for cooking and just doing what you need to over here. I only have 3 lights actually in here, so this one, or 4 I guess. 1, 2, 3, and then 4 up top there for the one that was up in that sill I showed you guys. Yeah, come on, focus. There we go. So yeah, I only got 4 lights, but I seem to get by. At nighttime I'm usually just using the laptop light and my monitor light, and sometimes my phone if I'm not using either of those. But yeah, it works good. It's a good working system. And up here I have some cleaning stuff and general hygiene, stuff like that. Over here I have bug spray and sunscreen. Next to that I have just some miscellaneous stuff, coffee and wood polish, sugar, salt, and pepper. What else? Under the sink, I didn't show you guys that yet. So under here I have plastic bags. I don't know why my phone's going so out of focus, but anyway. Plastic bags. There's paper towel, toilet paper, laundry detergent from doing laundry somewhere. Vinegar for cleaning. There's a drying mat. Just a whole bunch of random stuff. I got a garbage bag there. And then this was actually where my Dometic was going to go before I decided to get the mini fridge. And I haven't really decided how to finish it yet. So it's just kind of, yeah, like that. Well, I mean, a lot of the place is still unfinished, but you can tell there's no wallpaper or paint on any of the plywood here. And up there, a bunch of the wallpaper fell off. That's what you get for buying dollar store wallpaper, I guess. But yeah, it is what it is. So I'll fix that at some point in time. The roof is made out of a tarp, or not a tarp, landscape fabric, sorry. And it's just temporary. So it's basically just so I can get up in here and work on the lights. Like this is one of those 12 volt, 5 volt adapters that I haven't soldered yet. So it's just kind of rigged in there. So I'll have to pull that out after and change it. I had another light in there. I took it out and I didn't really want it there. So yeah, that's an overview of the camper V1. Sorry if the video is kind of all over the place. I don't really know how to film this stuff very well. So yeah, I did my best, and hopefully it turns out okay here. And if there's anything else you guys want to see in particular, or you have any questions or comments, feel free to drop it down below and let me know what you think. And thanks for watching.